Please close your eyes and imagine a world without suffering. What would it be like? Let's be honest, it would be boring and meaningless because suffering makes life worth living. Here's an example. How many parents do we have here? Can you please raise your hand? Okay. Can you imagine saying these words to your child? Sweetheart, I wish you would fall off your bike and break your leg. Okay, I know what you're now thinking. No way, I would never wish something like that to happen to my child. What is this guy talking about? My name is Erhan, and today I'm talking about the power of suffering. On the left, you see me. In my younger years. In the middle, you see my big brother, also in his younger years. And the man on the right side is Jensen Huang, son of immigrants from Taiwan. We all have something in common. We have suffered, but in different ways. What we have learned from it answers the question of why we should wish our children and ourselves to suffer more. I call us the suffering trio. I will start with the childhood of my brother. We are 3 brothers, and he is the oldest one. As is usual with firstborn children, he had to fight for everything. When he was 11 years old, the time came for a bigger bicycle. My father bought him a second-hand bike, but it was a lady's bike, and it only had 3 gears. Understandably, his enthusiasm was limited. His friends didn't just have cooler bikes for boys with 18 or 24 gears. He was also ridiculed by those around him because he rode a lady's bike as a boy. One day, about a year later, something happened to his great delight. It broke, and you know what? It wasn't worth fixing it. On this day, my brother collected all his courage and said to our father, Dad, can we buy a new bike? But this time a bike for boys? You know, I always get lost at with this lady's bike. My father was surprised. He didn't know that my brother was suffering so much. He answered with a resounding yes. But he didn't say when he would buy it for him. During the school vacation that followed, my brother had to help my father with his part-time job, delivering newspapers. The best part was that my father never told him that he had to help him. He didn't say why either. My brother was woken up at 4 a.m. every day. In the cold and in the dark, he helped our father deliver the newspapers throughout the entire vacation, and while all his colleagues, including those who had laughed at him, were able to sleep in peace. Then, on the last day, it happened. After finishing work, they didn't go home as usual, but to the bike shop. And there they were standing. Lots of bikes in different colors and models for boys and girls with 18 or 24 gears. And my father said to my brother, Son, choose the bike you like best. You've earned it. Well, it would be too nice if the story ended here, because when he had to deliver the newspapers in the cold, he caught a cold. The new bike was in the basement, but he couldn't ride it. Nevertheless, he went every day to the basement to inspect his new bike, to clean and polish it, not because it was dirty, but because he appreciated it. Although I'm the youngest in the family and all the stumbling blocks were removed from my path, I wasn't lazy. From the age of 14, I always worked during my vacation. However, I had my key experience at the age of 18, after I had registered for the courses and exams for my driving license. I went proudly to my father with the first bill in my hand and said, "Here, Dad, this is the bill for the theory course." I was so proud of myself that I had registered on my own. My father looked at me with a stern look in his eyes and asked me to sit down. "Son, you've earned good money this year. I suggest that you pay all the bills with your own money. As soon as you run out of money, I'll pay the rest until you pass your driving test." My jaw dropped. I was shocked. I was disappointed. It was expected to spend my hard-earned money on my driving license? It didn't even say we would split the cost. The condition for his financial support was that I had to use all my money first? What kind of amazing deal is that? No. I did not want that. I was a construction worker and tore down walls and sucked up mud from boreholes with a vacuum cleaner. I had to catch the train at 5 a.m. to get to work on time every day. I worked too hard for that money, so I replied, "What an absolutely fantastic idea! Of course, Father. That's what we'll do." During the next 4 months, I went through a maturing process. Frustration turned into pride. I was proud to have paid all the bills myself up to that point. Pride later turned into motivation. I wanted to get my driving license 100% under my own steam. I wanted to avoid that I would have to ask my father for money. Finally, on October 31st, 2001, I passed it. At that moment, on this day, I made a promise to myself. I want to remain financially independent from my parents. And I kept it from then on. Let's talk about the third of the suffering trio, Jensen Huang, son of immigrants, founder and CEO of the extremely successful tech company NVIDIA with a market capitalization of $3.5 trillion. He explained his way of thinking about leadership in a lecture. His attitude can be summarized as follows: "No task is beneath me." His mindset was shaped by previous jobs, by menial tasks. I used to clean toilets. I've cleaned a lot of toilets. I've cleaned more toilets than any of you combined. So this work attitude, "no task is beneath me," is characterized by humbleness, by a billionaire CEO. And by the way, NVIDIA became one of the world's most valuable companies. Back to my initial question. Why should we wish for more suffering? Suffering teaches us gratitude. We appreciate what we have. Suffering teaches us to grow. This is essential to the maturing process. Suffering teaches us to be humble. Staying down to earth is the foundation for success. I bet you're now wondering, do we get to learn all this by experiencing suffering? Hell yes. The magic begins outside your comfort zone. David Fiorucci, one of our great lecturers at HWZ, he introduced us to the comfort learning zone model in a simple but clear way. Here it comes. Our brain likes patterns. It loves to stay in its comfort zone. It feels safe because everything is as it should be. You have every situation under control. The limitations of the comfort zone vary for everyone, strongly influenced by your personality. Some people may feel a little bit uncomfortable in new social situations, while others may feel completely at ease. Outside your comfort zone is the learning zone. Here you are faced with stress, but stress is not the enemy. It is a way for our body to help us react to challenges. Stress can be good in small doses. It makes us more aware. This positive stress is called eustress in psychology. Next to the learning zone is the panic zone. The panic zone is not dangerous if you only stay in it for a short time and quickly return to the learning or comfort zone. A longer stay opens the door to the last zone, the death zone. Here, stress becomes chronic. It overwhelms us, and we feel we are losing control. This kind of stress is negative. It makes us sick. It is called distress in psychology. If you stay here, you're gonna die, very fast even. But do you know in which zone you can also die? In the comfort zone, in a slow way. The danger is getting too comfortable. The longer we stay in our cozy little space, the harder it is to face challenges. Our brains cannot take in new things. We cannot handle stress well. We avoid things we don't know. Let's embrace the discomfort of leaving the comfort zone. It is an essential step on the path of our personal development. And the journey from the comfort to the learning zone is not a one-time process. It is something you can and should do again and again. And the best part is, every time you leave your comfort zone, enter the learning zone, face new challenges, you return stronger. It's like sports. You have to strain the muscle to make it grow. And before you know it, you will find yourself in a much larger comfort zone. What once seemed unthinkable, a space where you are not only safe, but also powerful and full of life. Here's the bottom line. The power of suffering means being outside your comfort zone, beyond boundaries. So, the next time you find yourself facing a situation of suffering, remember to look for the lessons it has to offer and use them. Use them to fuel your personal growth and development. Grow through what you go through. Thank you.